Hey everybody, hey everybody. I didn't feel like setting up no green screen. And since I'm already was down here, down around to the YouTube, I said, well, the best thing I can go ahead and do is go on and throw together this old nasty piece of retro review for Dynasty Circa 1981, Season 1, Episode 10, entitled The Beating. Now, Charles Stephen, then the girl. Stephen done got a whiff of that Claudia, and bitch, he moving out of the Carrington mansion. Say he need his own space, is what he said. Crystal and Blake come along as the servants are moving his baggages out of the house. He tells them that, that he moved to a certain area. It don't provide the accommodations that the Carrington mansion would provide for him. However, it is right by the university because he's going back to school to take a couple of classes to get his business major. See what I'm saying? I think he already got one. Now he's upgrading to a master's degree, and he got a job. Blake automatically thought that meant he had a job back over there with Matthew and Walt over at their situation. But he quickly tells him, yeah, I got me a job. It's at a little old piece of job, I'm going to be working for Denver Carrington. And that changed Blake's entire demeanor because now he knows his son is going to work from him. Now, he thought he was going to public relations or something like that. But in fact, he's actually going to take a job in the refinery. He said he want to work hard like his father did, work long days and fall a bit in the bed, sleep at night, only to get up and repeat again. He wants to learn the business from the ground up and make his father proud. And see, at that moment, Blake was very pleased and glad to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I said, look at this old mother sucker right here. Child, you forcing these children to not live their best life, but to live the life you want them to have. But nevertheless, he gonna go and do that, but it's other reasons. Now, Walt done bought Matt a whole damn Rolls Royce. Mm-hmm. One of which that he did not want because the only one that they only got one well that has come in, so the money not pouring in yet, and he's feel like that. Why did you forget we ain't rich yet, and we still got Blake Carrington still behind the scenes trying to shut our business down? Walter feels like, child, the people we're gonna be introduced to and the deals you're gonna have to go and make, you're gonna have to look like success. Don't think they ain't gonna be paying attention to all that. Walt said he feels like Matt needs that call. You know what I'm saying? Matt at first wasn't really ready to get the car, had even called the man, told him he needs to be worried about his damn investment, investing money for his future because he's becoming an old man. Walt took that kind of hard. When Matt realized he had said something kind of hurtful to Walt, he apologized and they came to the agreement that they would keep the car, but not just for Matt. It will be a company car. I said, okay, well, if y'all can afford it, then go on with it. Then ain't no thing. Um, then Matt get a call as him and Walt talking about making this the business car. And the guy says it's from a woman. And Walt was like, you got a good family, don't mess that up. I said, Then Stephen is at Claudia's job telling her that he done moved into his own apartment and he wants her to be there with him that night because he wants her and he needs her. Now, she telling him, I want to be with you as well, but I have another life. She and him both admit that they want each other, but she can't come tonight. She got things. She got a daughter, husband. She said, what about Friday night? He had like that was just too long. But he finally agrees to it, right? Let me find out that Claudia done got that wop before it had a name. Claudia done went down there and grabbed her up a virgin and she done put that old mighty wop on him. And child, he over here thinking that he need her right now, every day, every moment on the moment, every moment on the hour. Okay, child, I said, let me find out Claudia had that wop. Mm, mm, mm. Well, Lindsay done come to the library. I mean, to the bookstore. And she see her mom sitting over there talking to Stephen Carrington, and his arm is placed upon her shoulder, not in a friendly way, but it didn't look right to her. Now, she a little confused. So when he leaves, she comes up to her mom and say, hey, what you doing out of school? Actually, I told the school that I wanted to go home for lunch and that you had agreed to it. But I did that because I would like for me and you to go to a restaurant today and just have lunch together. Now, girl, I don't know if I like the fact that you lied to them people down to their schoolhouse, but give me just a minute. Before you go get your purse, wasn't that Stephen Carrington that was just in here? See, they be pausing. That's how you know it be a lie. Child, you supposed to be able to, girl. The girl already at the, I don't know if that girl overheard it or not. It seemed like she did, but she pauses and then she tells this girl a lie, which wasn't really a lie, but it was a lie nevertheless for that moment. And the lie was, he's just telling me about he's going to be taking some classes over at the university, and he wanted to know if we had certain books that could help him in his studies. Now, if that girl overheard that, which I believe she did, she already know he got an apartment, and there's something going on between him and her mama. But okay, that woman they called Matt was Crystal, and they met up, and she wanted to tell him about her encounter with Claudia, how she was upset. He wanted to know what you told her. I told her she should talk to you. He said, well, you told her the right thing. You did very good with that. Then he tells her, I had a dream about you the other night. Didn't Blake say? Didn't Blake say you go to bed every night thinking about my wife? Were we together? No, you were standing in a field with your hair blowing in the wind and a beautiful smile across your face. I got to go home. I don't really want you. Do you have to leave right now? Yeah, I got to go. So she gets up and leaves, and he's standing there looking like, there goes my baby. I said, see, this is the trifling shit I don't like. This is the trifling shit I don't like. Now, Blake is letting Michael have it about a charge of $300 and something that was used. His business credit card was used, and Blake found out about it, and now he's mad. Michael offered to write him a check. Child, write a check. Ain't this some, take it back, don't it? But anyway, he offered to write a check for it, but said he figured it was a legitimate expense because the car belongs to one of his biggest business associates' secretary. He says she reports to him from time to time on business matters that may be of interest to Blake. Then he says he has information on his son, Stephen, and goes on to say that Stephen is sleeping with Claudia Blaisdell. Blake asked, was he sure? And he said, for sure. Then Crystal came in and they broke that conversation up. She coming in now to tell him Jeff is back in town. Michael said he felt like it was no. Blake told him, "Well, no problem. Don't worry about that $300 car repair you paid for. That was money well spent." So Blake and Crystal goes off to greet Matt. Right? He's so happy that he done heard his son is over there getting him some puss, and it's like he done told Crystal, "Did you get him a nice homecoming gift?" She said, "I mean, housewarming gift." And she said, "Well, I didn't know you was that serious about it." He said, "Yes, get him something really nice and get something romantic from the both of us." So then they go in the room. In this another room in the house, and Jeff is back, and he said he got away a few days early. Now Fallon knew that her husband was on the way, talking about she forgot. And for those of you who may not remember, Fallon is Blake Carrington's daughter. Jeff is Cecil Colby, one of Blake's business partner's nephew, and they put them together knowing that they like oil and water. They just don't mix. And if you don't believe me, just stay in this review. Now, Blake said he spoke to Cecil, and Cecil agreed to give Jeff a couple of days off to spend with his wife. Jeff came home with gifts. He gave Crystal a bottle of very expensive, I guess, Parisian perfume, and he gave another big bag of gifts to his wife. Jeff wanted to spend time with her, even asked her to go on a ride with him. She didn't want to go, and he said he missed her and went to kissing her down, but it wasn't no passion in it, right? Now, back at Claudia and Matt, he's telling her pick a destination. He won't take her on a honeymoon, right? She said it's a bit late to talk about a honeymoon. He feels otherwise. She says, but it's expensive. He said, we'll be all right. It's just for the weekend and you don't need no fancy gear. We're going to just go and have some time together. So he said it would be a weekend thing. Lindsay can stay at his mother's house. And of course, everything will be fine. They agree to go to this ski resort for their honeymoon/vacation. She want to know why. He said because she deserves it and because he's made mistakes, but he don't want to see her hurt and he loves her. He wants to build memories with her and she agreed to the trip. Jeff wants to move out of the Carrington house. He said, now look, Stephen moved. And I knew that when we got married, I didn't really want to live in this man's house, but I did it as a service to you, hoping that you would then sooner or later become comfortable and want to move. And where does he want to move? Bitch, to the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, bitch. But she don't want to go. He said, look, it's beautiful there. He said it's offices that I could possibly run down there, be my own boss. I don't like the swamps. He said, look, let's not kid each other. I knew when I married you that you were not madly in love with me. I knew there were people in your life, hell, there were people in mine, but I thought I loved us both. I loved us enough for the both of us. And now I want to move. She said, shh, you're making too much noise. He said, see, that's the shit I'm talking about right there. That shit I'm talking about right there. See, you want me to be quiet and everything so that your daddy don't overhear him. But how about this? How about you didn't marry? Why didn't you marry your father? Because that's the only one you seem to care about. At this moment, she had a real white girl moment. She jumped up, ran down the hall, ran down the stairs, jumped into her automobile, and sped off into the night. Her husband ran behind her. He's screaming, Fallon, Fallon, Fallon. And she done got on, child. So in the midst of all this commotion, as he's standing there and she done drove off, Blake Harrington wakes up and he's like, is that Fallon? She said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, well, is everything all right? He said, everything fine. She just needs some night air and went on back up in the mansion. Child, it's a problem, Brave. It's a problem. Now, back at Claudia and Matt. No, I'm at the wrong thing. Okay. Hold on, child. Oh, let me tell you what Fallon went. Fallon went to see Michael. Michael is her on again, off again lover, and also Blake Carrington's chauffeur. She go in there looking like he just, like she just need him. And y'all know what went down between the two of them. Now, we see Matt and Claudia have checked into the hotel of the resort that they're going to be in. They run into a friend. They do a little small talk. And then later on, they have dinner and dancing with the friend and his wife. And it's all good. They dancing, they laughing and talking, the men talking. Claudia and the wife goes to the bathroom. The wife is talking about how, she appreciate basically, girl, I like getting all this money. I like having an expense account, credit cards, and living good. But every now and again, there's something that's just missing. And that's a nasty piece of affair. Claudia sitting there with guilt all across her face. Oh, girl said, but when women like us, we don't do that. I was like, bitch, yes, the fuck they do. Claudia over there having a whole affair with a what once was a gay man. So, girl, they do that, but Claudia is convicted in her spirit. Now, Fallon and Crystal is in the car with a bouquet of roses, and I was assuming they was headed toward to see Steven. Next thing you know, a car comes up behind them and cuts in front of them. Michael backs the car up and goes in the opposite direction, only to be cut off by another car. He lets the windows up and tell Crystal and Fallon, do not get out of the car. And when soon as Michael stepped out that car, by 3, 4 men went to whooping his entire ass, beat the fuck out of him. I was like, child. So Crystal and Fallon, of course, jumps out the car. One of the men says, stay out of this. And then they get through beating him up and they leave. Now, Crystal ready to take Michael to the ER. He told me, no. He said, I had it coming. It's a dead. He looked at Fallon and said, keep your mouth closed. And she looked like she knew exactly what had happened. And she did, child. Because later on, we see her and her daddy in that office that her daddy got at that mansion. And she is going in. How dare you have him beat up? He said, you are a married woman. And you will not be smirchified the family's name. She said, you can't beat up every man in Denver that I sleep with. He said, try me. Try me, ho. So she storms off real mad at everything, right? So Claudia is back home, coming home with the groceries and stuff. And Steven, she looking at that phone and decides to call Steven to apologize for not being available that Friday because she went out of town with her husband. Lindsay comes in, overhears her mother talking, and picks up the other phone. She did slick, child. You know how you have to hold the thing down, pick the phone up, and then just ease off of it so it don't make that click sound. And she overhears her mother giving Steven's address and saying that she gonna roll on through. She gonna slide through. So later on, we see this little girl, Lindsay, then got some little boy named Christopher to get his dad a car that night because she want to go for a drive because she say movies are becoming mundane to her. Girl, not for another couple of damn years. But anyway, she said it became mundane and she just wants to go for a ride. So she got this boy in this car later on and they don't follow. Soon as Claudia arrives at Matt's apartment, she pulls up with the boy and she got to figure out how to keep him occupied because her goal is to see her mama, rather than her mama come out this apartment complex, even though she know that's their mama car. She done told the little boy she liked to smoke. Got him to go outside and get out the car and go to the store and buy some cigarettes, only to come back and be choking on them bitches because she don't motherfucking smoke. Then when she seen her mama come out the building with Steven, she kisses Chris so she can keep looking over there at her mama. Soon as her mama in the car and they pulled off, she like, I want to go home. Because she never came there. She ain't want nothing but to follow and spy on her mama. Okay. Matt is at home. He pacing back and forth on the phone with the police talking about he want a missing person report put out. Claudia come in the house. What's wrong with you? Lindsay is missing. No, she's not. She's with Christopher. No, she's not because I called Christopher. Christopher said he dropped her off at Tanya and Tanya says she ain't there. So now where is Lindsay? Lindsay is over at Walt's house talking about she want to move in with him. Now he love her because she like his own. But he told her she can't run from her problems and whatever is going on is between her parents. And she has to face her parents. He said he wouldn't mind her being there, but he know that her parents deserve a conversation. So let's go back to Matt and Claudia's house because baby Matt is going the fuck in on her, talking about this wouldn't have happened if you would have been here. She said we had inventory at the bookstore. He said you spend a lot of time down at that big bookstore now. He asked if the lady cared about Lindsay, and she said since the day I realized she was living inside my body. He went into talking about how she feels resentment toward him and Lindsay, because by her getting pregnant young with him, she lost some of her childhood, and she feel like that the girl got animosity about that, and she's mad because Matt was the one that was still able to go to school after becoming a father. And he's talking about how it's not just her who had to cut their life as young people short. He had to go through some sacrifices as well, like being there during the birth, marrying her 2 days later, and taking care of her up until this point. So he beating her the fuck up, right? When they get a phone call, and it is Walt telling them that Lindsay is at my house. So they jump in the car to go get Lindsay. When they come in the house, Lindsay's still standing up there very upset. Her mama go to put the damn sweater around her, and she bolts out of Walt's door, and you got Matt chasing her down. He catch her. He tells her, I told you you were wanted and you are loved. She break down a minute, but she pulls away from him. And the look that girl had on her eyes for her parents was pure hate, because she know both of them playing games with each other. And who is in the middle feeling fucked up behind it is her. And that is where the episode ends for season 1, episode 10, The Beating. This girl is really going through some emotional shit, and her parents is playing in her face, and that's what it was, child. That's it. That's all. I thank you all so much for joining me for another retro review of Dynasty season 1, episode 10. It has been my pleasure to bring you these retro reviews. I don't know how many more we got in season 1, but I'll let you guys know by episode 11, because I definitely know that there is an episode 11. So I'll let you know how many more episodes we have. Thank you to everybody who has supported me doing these retro reviews. I actually get a kick out of it because it takes me back to a time when, child, I was a little girl when this came out. And to talk about it now as a almost 50-year-old woman, I think about how differently I thought when I first saw it opposed to seeing it now. And I hope it's a walk down memory lane for some of you as well. Remember, in closing, as always, you do not have to be great to get started, but you must get started in order to be great. And it is the depth of your struggle that will determine the ultimate height of your success. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll see you later. Peace.